to record another episode of Trending with Teesha. So, little stories here and there that has happened like within the past few days or so. The biggest one yet is DMX. So, he ended up in the hospital last week of a drug overdose. Okay, if you are a DMX fan, if you even heard of him in like just throughout his career or whatever, you know that this man has been battling demons since he was younger. You know, he actually revealed like I think in an interview once that he was tricked into smoking crack at the age, was it crack or cocaine? One of them. At the age of 14, he was actually smoking, he thought he was smoking marijuana, and it turns out that the marijuana cigarette was laced with either crack or cocaine or a mixture of both. I don't remember. So he's been like battling a drug addiction for the majority of his life. So as recent as last year, DMX was doing really good. You know, he has verses with Snoop Dogg and everything, and he looked healthy and everything. And now he's hospitalized, and it was like back and forth, them saying that he was on life support and he wasn't breathing on his own. He had he had very little brain activity, and he's pretty much a vegetable. Then it was said that he was off life support and breathing on his own. But his attorney said that that was false info that he was given. Go figure. So now today it comes out that he actually has coronavirus. And I'm like, bro, what? Like, how I feel? We cannot lose DMX. We can't. And it's sad that he's been battling these demons for so long, and you know, it's just sad, like, as a fan, to watch him just like deteriorate right in front of our eyes, because he's had legal trouble. He has 15 kids by several women. I remember seeing him on Iyanla Fix My Life, and he went off on Iyanla because Iyanla was trying to help him like rebuild the relationship with his son, and he was just he did not want the help from Iyanla. He cursed her out and everything. But DMX has had a hard childhood, and you know, when you have a hard and terrible childhood, it crosses over into your adult life. And he's just, if you listen to his music, he's always talked about battling his demons in his music. If you listen to I Can Feel It, if you listen to it's some other song, he has quite a few songs where he talks about his addiction and stuff that he's going through and whatever. I think Slippin', he talks about it too. Like, it's a lot, and he's such a talented artist, but it just sucks that, you know, his addiction is what got the best of him. And to hear that he's in a vegetative state and he has little to no brain activity, like, from what I was reading, there's no coming back from that. Like, it's either, if he's alive, he's not going to be the same, or he's just, it's time to let him go. And I really don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that, because it's like, he's so talented. And it just sucks. It really sucks. And then I have been seeing like comments that people have made, like, oh, it's his fault. You can't feel bad for a crackhead. You can't do. And it's like, it's funny how people like to judge other people's, like, you know, flaws and what they're dealing with. But you can't turn that mirror on yourself, right? So it's like, in this moment, okay, yes, he brought it on himself by getting back on drugs. Yes. But at the same time, addiction is a disease. Like, it's plenty of people who are fighting demons, and they use drugs, they use liquor, they use all kinds of things to cope. So rather than judge them, pray for them. Send them positivity. But don't sit up here and talk about, oh, it's his fault. You know, he's a drug addict. You know, he's been destroying himself for years. Yeah, because the man, it seems like, especially with a celebrity, with fame comes a lot of problems. So drugs and all of that is easily accessible when you're in the limelight. It is so easy to obtain. So what DMX really needs is a good support system around him. That's what he needs. And he needs to, and I also heard that they're gonna investigate the dealer who sold him the drugs. I don't know how true that is, but that's what I was reading. And I just don't like the fact that people are just like, oh, well, it's his fault. He's a junkie. He's a drug addict. He's a this. He's a that. Let's put your flaws on display and talk about what you are, since you want to be so judgmental. I don't like stuff like that. Just pray for the man. You don't need to speak negative of somebody who's in this situation. I hate when people do that. But anyway, DMX, I hope and pray that you get better. I do not want to say rest in peace. I really don't. Because that man has so much potential to be greater than what he is. And it just really, really, really sucks that this has gotten the best of him. So I'm praying for him, and I'm praying for his family, that there's at least a positive outcome in this. But I'm afraid, I'm on pins and needles and anxious about what news we're gonna get next. Moving on. So I was reading like on Google. Google will have like these alerts or whatever. Now they're saying that there's newer symptoms with COVID. As if we needed more symptoms for this dumbass virus. I'm sick of this virus. So now they're saying that pink eye, gastrointestinal conditions, impaired hearing, which I already knew like that was a symptom anyway, because I heard that some people after they had COVID, people had like continuous ringing in their ears. I don't know. I haven't experienced that. I will say myself personally, because I had COVID last year, and I'll say that I have long hauler symptoms. Like my edges are like thinning out. They're thicker than this, but they're thinning out. Sleep problems. I'm always fatigued now. So, and those are symptoms. Those are long hauler symptoms. Those are just like a couple of long hauler symptoms. But that's what I'm noticing or whatever. But like now they're saying if you have COVID, these are new symptoms that you can get. And it's like, come on, bro. Like, this is so irritating. It really is. It's so irritating, and I'm just like so over it. And I mean, you know, now they're forcing, like pretty much putting the vaccine out there, and the same way that they did with the voting and everything, just letting you know, oh, the vaccine is available and da 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 da. And I'm like, yeah, okay, enough of that. I can't. So if you watched last season of Real Housewives of Potomac, then you know that last season was all about Candiace and Monique's fight or whatever. So recently it was said on Google that Candiace speaks about Monique's exit, talking about, oh, it's a load off for all of us. And I'm like, girl, bye. Because you played victim from beginning to end of season 5, and everybody tried to make it seem like it was just Monique's fault for why that fight happened the way that it happened. And I'm like, no, it wasn't Monique's fault, because she put her hands all in Monique's face. And I know with certain people, especially black women, you do this, you bound to get this, because you in somebody's personal space. So that's what Candiace did, and Monique mollywopped her. I mean, I don't condone violence, but I also don't condone this here. Because when you do something like this, then that means that my reflexes is going to tell me to do this to you. That's not cool. But I just don't like how everybody is trying to put it on Monique, like, well, it's your fault and da 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 da. And in my opinion, it just looked like people were looking for a reason, i.e. Giselle, Robin, were looking for a reason to get rid of Monique, because Giselle and Robin didn't really care for Monique to begin with. Giselle been picking at Monique since she joined the cast in, I think, the second season. She's been picking at Monique ever since. And honestly, I feel like she's jealous of Monique. She don't want to admit it, but she is. Because, like, just the stuff that she says and how she acts and all of that, it's like envious energy, and it's not cute. And just me watching the show and then watching out everything, like, Monique was wrong for putting her hands on Candiace, but Candiace was wrong too for provoking her and putting her hands in her face. But it's like she's not taking accountability for that, but she wants to make it seem like, oh, Monique is this bad person, and every episode she's crying like, oh, I am mentally destroyed, and da-da-da. But you started the fight because you kept going. Monique didn't even want to talk about it then, and you kept going, and you thought that she wasn't going to drag you. I don't understand people that do that. I don't understand people that do stuff and think that people aren't going to retaliate. Like, people, like, they do something and they feel like you can't react to it, and then they want to scream at you for how you reacted to it. I don't like that. But you know what? Good for Monique. Because Monique doesn't need Real Housewives of Potomac, to be honest. That girl is well off. You know, her husband is an NFL player. They got 4 homes. Okay, businesses. She's good. She didn't need Real Housewives of Potomac. And, you know, I'm happy that she left. I just pray that, you know, she continues her business endeavors and continue your hustle, girl. So the last story I want to talk about is I didn't really read too much up on it, but I did see it on the internet. So Paul Pierce was fired from ESPN for going live, having some party with strippers, alcohol, and weed, I believe. So the main thing I'm gonna say about that is you have to be very, very careful of what you post on these social media platforms, because these employers be watching like a hawk, which I feel like what you do in your personal time is your business, but I can also see it as don't post all your personal business on social media, you know? So I get it in that instant, but I'm like, dang, they just straight up fired old boy, but you know, they have a reputation to protect, an image they trying to maintain. So I get it, but dang, homie, like, just some stuff, don't put it on live. Like, record it, keep it in your memory bank, but don't put it on live. Don't put it on social media, especially if you have a job like that, because they be watching hard. They be watching your pages hard. That's why some people use aliases for their names. They change their names and stuff and whatnot so people can't find them on the internet, because Facebook, for sure, employers are definitely on Facebook. They're definitely on Instagram. They're definitely on Twitter, looking for a reason to fire you. And it's ridiculous. So yeah, he got fired from ESPN. I mean, he's another one who doesn't really, I don't think he needs the ESPN money, but you know, it's a nice little check to have. You know, I ain't mad at him, but don't put all your business, let it be a lesson, don't put all your business on live, because it's hard to come back from that. So, you know, like I said, if he would have did it like in private where nobody knew or whatever, and recorded it, and like I said, keep it in his memory bank if he really wanted to remember that night or whatever, then that's cool. But don't post it on social media when you know your employers is watching hard. And that's about all I have to talk about with Trending with Teesha. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend about Teesha on the tube. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for rocking out with me, and I will see you in the next video. Later.